Oh yeah, by the way, my wife's favorite song is Home on the Range.
Because of that, it was nice. And I that same day, while that boy was playing the harmonica, I looked to my...
What boy?
It was
Who's
a
this
kid
boy that
there.
I
I
didn't
don't
know?
even know who. Maybe it was you. Was it you? Were you a foster
I didn't
child?
like that there was a boy there.
And he played a song I like to this day.
If I ever catch that boy. Okay. And so you were in foster care and you still didn't know what was going on.
No, my dad came that day, and I remember I saw him and I ran to him and I gave him a big hug. And from there, my memory just jumps to us being in someone's house, and there was candy corn right there, and they gave us some. And then my memory jumps to another family's house and them taking us to this playground with trains, and me being in a kindergarten class holding a baby chick. And then from there, we go to another family, and this is the family that I remember most in Melrose Park.
Mm-hmm. And so I didn't. So foster care, from what I've heard, I have a few friends that were in foster care, and I've heard certain things about foster care that is not so good. Mm-hmm. So I can only imagine what you were going through during that time. If you want to share some of those things that you went through.
Yeah, I don't mind sharing, because I know that a lot of kids go through it, and a lot of people don't know about the things that happen in foster care. I was just talking to Anna about it. But
you were just talking to a friend.
I was just talking to a friend about it. But so the family is nice. We really missed them when we left foster care, but there were some things that happened, like we would get spanked. Mm-hmm. I did get spanked by the foster mom a few times. And then...
How did you feel about getting spanked by someone other than your parents?
Well, at the time, I didn't really think anything of it, because in my eyes, they were like my parent. And it was, I didn't really understand. I knew who my mom and dad were, but I didn't have the understanding that this person shouldn't hit me, or they don't have the authority or anything like that, because I had so many families growing up that it was just weird.
What do you mean you had so many families? You were staying with so many families?
Well, just having the 3 foster families, and then my mom and dad. I just thought it was normal.
Okay. But when the foster mom would spank you, would it like, would you say it was hard, like abuse, or would you say you deserved some of the spanking?
Well, the spanking was because I did something wrong. Mm-hmm. I did steal. And
you broke a commandment.
I did. I didn't know it at the time, but I did steal because we had just found out that my dad got custody of us. Mm-hmm. And we were packing our boxes already. It wasn't finalized yet, so my dad would still come to visit us. And this was after a day that he dropped us off. He was still there outside, but she called me and she questioned me. She said, she showed me I had stolen nail polishes, and she showed them to me. They were hidden inside one of my boxes that we were already packing. And I hid them when no one was looking. I went into my foster sister's room. She was about 16. I stole them. I hid them in the box.
Wait, you stole what?
Nail polishes.
Oh, nail polish. Okay.
Yeah.
And you were how old?
I was around 5 or 6.
Okay. And so you got spanked hard.
She laid me down on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
She pulled out a belt and she put my legs up and she was whipping me under my thigh.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember because I was laying down on the floor like that, I was looking back because the door was behind us and my dad was out there and he was already leaving. And I remember I was calling to him saying, "Daddy, Daddy," but in Spanish I was like, "Papi, come help me." And he didn't hear me. And it just felt very like I was helpless. That my dad wasn't there to protect me from that.
So did you feel afterwards, but your dad took you from there around that time, right? And you never came back?
No, after he got custody from us, I remember the day that we went in the car, and I was looking at the rear view mirror, and my foster mom was crying and everything, and my dad was telling her things. And then we went to his house, and we went there for the first time. The new apartment, it was empty. He had like this big doll for me and everything, but we never went back.
Okay, so that was the day that you went home with your dad.
And my two sisters.
That was also the day that you got spanked real hard by your foster
No.
mom? Oh, no. Okay.
No.
Okay. And so with the day that you got spanked by your foster mom, you were still there. You still had to live there. Yeah. Okay. So did you then, were you scared to still be there? Because, she just spanked you real hard and you're like, you now feel unsafe?
I don't remember. I feel like it wasn't the first time that she spanked us. So I don't remember if that changed anything.
Okay.
I just know that I never did it again.
Okay, so the spanking put fear in you.
I guess so. I never stole again.
But she still loved you after the spanking.
Yeah, I mean, even when we left, she would come and visit.
Okay.
At my dad's house. But yeah, there was a lot of spanking that happened. I remember. I mean, my little sister said that my foster mom got so frustrated with her when she was giving her a bath that she tried to drown her.
Okay, now that's abuse.
Yeah.
Okay, so the spanking, I think, in my opinion, well, let me give context real quick because I got spanked when I was a kid. My dad would spank me when he was there. I think some of you guys, some of them, and you already know my story where my dad left. I think when I was like 1 or 2, my dad left. We had a gap. We didn't know each other, and he would come back, and then he tried to have a relationship with me during the time that he was on vacation. By the way, I was in the Philippines. My dad left when I was 1 or 2. He came here to pursue his career or whatever, to make money for us in the Philippines, and then he would come back on vacation, and then on the maybe 2-week vacation that he was there, he would try to have a relationship with me, but if I frustrated him, he would spank me and he would yell at me, things like that. With my dad, when he would spank me, I would be rebellious still because he was a stranger at the time. With my grandpa spanked me once, and that was all he needed. I was doing something really bad, and I don't want to say what it was. And he took a belt. He told me to go to the wall, face the wall. He took a belt, and I think he had my booty exposed, and he took a belt and he just whoosh. It was really hard, and that was the last time I messed with my dad. I mean, my grandpa. That was the last time I messed with my grandpa, and so I think that a spanking could be necessary, I believe, but also after the spanking, there should also be comfort and what do you call, like, comfort, and you should talk to your son or daughter, or conversation, just to let them know, hey, this is the reason why you got this spanking, whatever. So that's what I believe.
It should also come from a place of love, not done out of anger.
Yeah.
And it should be rare that
it should be rare.
Spanking occurs. It should be done like if the child is really being defiant or breaking a commandment.
Being defiant, being disrespectful,
hurting someone
else. Those are some of the only things to us that deserve a spanking. But I do believe that spare the rod, spoil the child. I do believe that
Mrs. White says that if the child is really, really being a certain way, that a spanking is permissible, but it should be a spanking that lets the child know, like, never to do. It should leave such an impression on their mind, never to do that again, so that the spanking isn't necessary anymore.
How would you, let's say, like, how would you do it? Like, if you had to, if Elisha did something and that this is really bad, it could, it can potentially lead to other things. How would you do it?
I feel like I would talk to him about it and have him realize that what he did was really bad, and see if he can, on his own, repent from it. And if he's choosing not to, then I believe he has to have the consequence.
Yeah.
But giving him the opportunity to repent first, because I think that's how God does it with us. Isn't it?
Yeah, giving him the opportunity to repent first. There are examples in the Bible where God didn't give an opportunity to repent, like Nadab and Abihu. They didn't, I don't think God gave them. I think actually, it's in the Bible where they just got the punishment right there. Yeah.
Do you think it's because of that, the verse that says, to whom much is given, much is required? Do you think it's because they had that much knowledge that they should have already known not to do what they did? Yeah,
they were Aaron's sons. So Aaron was the high priest. And so they should have already, they should already known, that bringing, and they got a talking to. They said, God said not to bring strange fire, and they brought strange fire. And so because they were aware, they got the spanking of their lifetime. And that was it. But for us, I think the way that we should do it, the way that it should be done, is just like you said, it should be done out of love. And I think that there needs to be prayer first. There needs to be an explaining first. Hey, you were disrespectful. You almost hurt someone. And just to ensure that this doesn't happen again, we're going to do this. This is what's going to happen. And I want you to know that this is for your own good. And I think a calm voice, even though, no one likes a spanking, and he's going to get frustrated and yell and stuff. I think for us, like as parents, I think we need to be calm and just say, hey, this is for your own good. I just want you to know that this is the consequence. And then you do the spanking, one, like that. And then afterwards, then you hug, comfort, and, let the child know that you still, you love him or her, and then you pray. But I think also what's important also is to pray beforehand so that you're calm.
Yeah, so you're calm.
And you're not like spanking out of anger. That's what I think. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's something that we didn't get when we were little. We got the spankings, but we never got the comfort afterwards.
And I think a lot of a lot of people went through that because there's a lot of parents that parent out of frustration and anger and discipline out of frustration and anger and not out of love. And so they get the spanking and then they get yelled at and then that's it. Like there's no comfort. There's no, hey, this is, I want to do this for you because I want you to grow up, being obedient to us and obedient to God.
Yeah.
So.
And a lot of us we grew up being obedient, but we also grew up with mental issues because of the lack of comfort that we received.
I'm just laughing because of the way that you said it.
What?
We grew up being obedient, but we also had mental issues. But yeah, so that's what I
we should have laughed
believe.
at that.
That's what I believe.